Number 13, the body's fake alarms. Imagine you're just sitting there scrolling through your phone when suddenly you feel it, a phantom vibration in your pocket. You pull out your phone, check it, and nothing. No text, no call, no notification. Just the sweet, sweet lie your brain just told you. What you just experienced is a phantom vibration syndrome, and it's a perfect example of your brain being a paranoid, over-caffeinated roommate. Here's the deal. Your brain is a pattern-seeking machine. It's constantly on the lookout for anything that could be a threat, a signal, or even a text from your mom. And in a world where our phones are basically an extension of our limbs, our brains have gotten a little overzealous. It's like a security guard who's seen too many action movies, mistaking every falling leaf for a potential intruder. Your brain gets a minor signal, a wrinkle in your clothes, a muscle twitch, a brief change in blood flow, and its pattern-seeking algorithms jump to the most likely conclusion. A phone is vibrating. This isn't just about your phone either. It's about your brain being so convinced of a pattern that it will literally create a false reality to fill in the blanks. And the more you check for these phantom vibrations, the more your brain gets reinforced to keep doing it. So, congratulations, you've been Pavlov's dog, but instead of drooling, you're just endlessly checking your phone. Number 12, false memory syndrome. Have you ever been in a heated argument with someone about a memory, only to find out you were completely, utterly, and embarrassingly wrong? Maybe you swore you went to that one concert together, but they can prove you were in another state. Or you remember your third-grade teacher as a cruel monster, when in reality, they were a saint who just gave you a B on a paper you didn't deserve. Welcome to the terrifying world of false memory syndrome, where your brain isn't just an unreliable narrator, it's a full-on con artist. Your brain doesn't record memories like a video camera, it records fragments, snippets, and emotions. Every time you recall a memory, your brain rebuilds it, filling in the gaps with plausible but completely made-up details. It's like you're trying to reconstruct a T-Rex skeleton, but you're missing half the bones, so you just start molding clay to fill in the empty spaces. And what's worse, your emotions and beliefs can corrupt these reconstructions. If you believe your childhood was rough, your brain might start to remember events that prove it. If you have a bad feeling about a person, your brain might invent a past interaction to justify that feeling. You can even be convinced you committed a crime you didn't, just by having someone repeatedly ask you about it. Basically, your brain is a Hollywood producer, constantly rewriting the script of your life to make it more dramatic, more coherent, and more in line with the narrative it wants to tell. Number 11, the Mandela Effect. Imagine waking up one day and finding out that the famous Berenstain Bears are actually the Berenstain Bears, or that the iconic quote, "Luke, I am your father," was never actually said that way. This isn't a glitch in the Matrix or a conspiracy theory about parallel universes. It's a large-scale example of your brain's collective con job, better known as the Mandela Effect. It's not magic, it's just the brain's greatest hits of cognitive biases, all rolled into one confusing, ego-crushing phenomenon. The first culprit is our old pal, confabulation, the brain's sneaky way of filling in memory gaps with made-up information. Think of it as your brain auto-correcting your memories. Then there's confirmation bias, where your brain sees others sharing the same false memory and immediately thinks, "See? I told you so." This creates a feedback loop of incorrect information, where everyone is gaslighting everyone else into believing the same lie. This isn't just about misremembering a movie quote. It's about our brains being so susceptible to suggestion and peer pressure that they will literally rewrite our personal histories to fit a group narrative. It's proof that what you think you know is just a story your brain is telling you, and sometimes it's a story it got from a guy on the internet who was also totally wrong. Number 10, the misinformation effect. Have you ever seen a crime show where a witness, under duress, changes their story based on a subtle question from an interviewer? Like, they're asked, how fast were the cars going when they smashed into each other, instead of how fast were the cars going when they hit each other? Suddenly, the witness remembers a more violent and destructive crash. This is the misinformation effect in action, and it's a terrifying look at how easily our memories can be corrupted. Your brain, in its constant quest for efficiency, doesn't store memories as precise snapshots. It stores them as a collection of ideas and associations. So when you're presented with new, misleading information, your brain, being a lazy and over-trusting librarian, just files it right alongside the original memory. It doesn't see it as a contradiction, it sees it as an update. And what's really wild is that this effect can be caused by anything: a simple question, a headline, a photo, or a friend's casual comment. You could be so confident in a memory, but with just a little bit of external poison, your brain will completely rewrite the narrative, and you'll be none the wiser. So the next time you hear a rumor, your brain is already working to make it part of your truth, even if it's a total lie. It's like having a ghostwriter who just makes stuff up and passes it off as your own autobiography. Number 9, the Dunning-Kruger Effect. Ever heard someone confidently explain a topic they clearly know nothing about? Maybe it was a person in a meeting offering a brilliant solution that was actually just a rehash of something you'd already discussed. Or perhaps it was you at a family dinner, passionately arguing a political point you only read a single headline about. Welcome to the Dunning-Kruger Effect, the cognitive bias that makes incompetent people overestimate their own abilities and makes competent people underestimate them. Here's the dark heart of it. Your brain is so good at telling itself lies that it can convince you that you're an expert when you're not. It's a vicious cycle. You don't know enough to realize how much you don't know. You have a superficial understanding of a topic, just enough to get the gist, and your brain, in its infinite laziness, decides that this is sufficient knowledge. It fills in the gaps with confidence, not facts. On the flip side, people who are genuinely knowledgeable are often plagued by self-doubt. They know how complex their field is, they're aware of the nuances and the endless things they still need to learn. Their brain, for whatever reason, chooses to tell them, "You're a fraud and a fake, you'll never be good enough." So while the idiot is on a mountaintop shouting his incorrect theories, the real expert is at the bottom of the hill, quietly questioning their own existence. It's a cruel joke your brain plays on both the ignorant and the wise. Number 8, the spotlight effect. Remember that time you tripped on the sidewalk and felt 1,000 pairs of eyes on you? Or that day you went to work with a tiny, almost invisible stain on your shirt and were absolutely certain everyone was whispering about it? That's the spotlight effect. And it's your brain's wildly narcissistic way of making everything about you. The truth is, people are busy. They're consumed with their own inner monologues, their own anxieties, and their own tiny spills on their own shirts. That trip you took? Most people either didn't see it, or if they did, forgot about it 2 seconds later. That stain? Nobody noticed. Your brain, however, is so preoccupied with its own self-image that it assumes the rest of the world is too. It's like being the main character in a movie, but the movie is a low-budget psychological thriller where the only horror is your own social anxiety. The spotlight effect is a direct result of egocentrism, the inability to differentiate between your own perspective and others. Your brain is simply incapable of understanding that the world doesn't revolve around you. So it tells you this elaborate, high-stakes lie about being the center of attention, when in reality, you're just a blip on a radar that no one is even watching. Number 7, cognitive dissonance. You know that feeling when you're caught between two conflicting ideas or beliefs? Like when you just bought a new phone and then you see a negative review about it? Your brain, in that moment, is screaming. It's like an internal civil war. This isn't just a minor discomfort, it's a full-on emergency, and your brain will do anything to fix it. This is cognitive dissonance, and your brain's lies are the bandages it uses to stop the bleeding. To resolve the conflict, your brain will either A, change one of the beliefs, B, trivialize the conflict, or C, add a new belief to justify the existing one. For example, if you're a smoker who knows it's bad for you, your brain will come up with justifications. My grandpa smoked 2 packs a day and lived to be 90. Or I'll quit after this 1 pack. Or the stress of quitting is probably worse for me than the smoking itself. Your brain will happily accept any of these lies rather than face the unpleasant reality that your actions don't align with your beliefs. It will bend logic, deny facts, and invent narratives just to keep you from having to admit you were wrong. It's a testament to how desperately your brain wants to maintain a consistent, comfortable view of reality, even if that reality is a house of cards built on self-deception. Number 6, the narrative fallacy. Your brain is a storyteller, a prolific novelist who's constantly working on the epic saga of you. But here's the problem. The story it's telling you isn't accurate, it's just coherent. This is the narrative fallacy, and it's the reason you can look back on your life and see a perfectly logical, almost poetic series of events that led you to where you are now. The truth is, most of your life is just a chaotic mess of random chance, lucky breaks, and bad decisions. But your brain, in its need to find meaning, connects all the dots, even the ones that have no business being connected. It's like a conspiracy theorist with a red string board, but instead of proving the Illuminati, it's proving that your decision to skip that 1 class in college was the secret, pivotal moment that led to your eventual career success. It creates a seamless story out of a jumble of random events, and in doing so, it simplifies a messy reality and convinces you that you're living a perfectly scripted life. This lie isn't just about the past, it also influences the future. Your brain will cherry-pick new information that fits its existing narrative and dismiss anything that doesn't. It's a beautifully crafted lie that gives you a sense of control and purpose in a world that is, by and large, completely random. Number 5, the planning fallacy. We've all been there. You look at a to-do list, a project at work, or a trip you're planning, and you think, this will take an hour tops. An hour turns into 3, 3 turns into 6, and suddenly you're in a state of caffeine-fueled panic, wondering where the day went. This is the planning fallacy, and it's your brain's wildly optimistic, almost delusional way of estimating how long something will take. This isn't just about bad time management, it's a deep-seated cognitive bias. When you're planning, your brain focuses on a best-case scenario. It conveniently ignores all the potential snags, the unexpected emails, the inevitable distractions, the fact that you'll probably have to run to the store for a crucial ingredient you forgot about. Your brain is a terrible planner because it fundamentally ignores reality. It ignores past experiences where you failed at a similar task. It ignores the fact that other people are involved, and other people are notoriously unreliable. It's like your brain is a motivational speaker who's never actually done the hard work, just stood on a stage and said, "You can do it." And we believe it every time. Number 4, the backfire effect. Have you ever tried to convince someone of a fact, armed with evidence, logic, and a mountain of data, only to have them double down on their false belief? You show them a study, they say the study is biased. You show them a video, they say it's a deep fake. In fact, the more you push, the more they resist. This is the backfire effect, and it's one of the most maddening lies your brain tells you. When a deeply held belief is challenged, your brain doesn't just reevaluate, it goes into a defensive crouch. Your brain, in its infinite wisdom, views this challenge not as an opportunity for new knowledge, but as an attack on your very identity. The more you try to correct it, the more your brain reinforces the original lie. It's like a stubborn child being told to eat their vegetables. The more you insist, the more they will absolutely refuse. Your brain is not just a hard drive of facts, it's a fortress of beliefs. And when you try to breach the walls, it just builds them higher. This effect is a terrifying testament to how our brains prioritize social and emotional comfort over objective truth, happily accepting a lie rather than facing the discomfort of being wrong. Number 3, the availability heuristic. You're scrolling through the news and you see a headline about a plane crash. Suddenly, you're terrified to fly. A few weeks later, you see another story about a shark attack, and your beach vacation plans suddenly feel a little less appealing. The truth is, flying is statistically one of the safest ways to travel, and you are far more likely to be injured by a falling coconut than a shark. But your brain doesn't care about statistics. It cares about what's easily available in your memory. This is the availability heuristic, and it's a terrifying look at how your brain prioritizes dramatic, vivid, and recent information over actual, boring facts. Your brain is a lazy librarian. When you ask it for information, it just grabs the first thing on the shelf that looks good, even if it's a paperback novel instead of a scientific textbook. We overestimate the likelihood of rare, highly publicized events because they are emotionally charged and easy to recall. We're not afraid of car accidents, which happen all the time because they're commonplace and don't make for good headlines. But a plane crash? That's a story, that's a movie, and your brain, being a connoisseur of fine fiction, happily accepts the lie that a spectacular event is a probable one. Number 2, the just world fallacy. You're watching the news and you see a story about a person who has suffered a terrible tragedy, and in the back of your mind a little voice whispers, they must have done something to deserve that. Or on the flip side, you see a wildly successful person and think, they must be a good person. This is the just world fallacy, and it's your brain's way of lying to you about the fundamental fairness of the universe. Your brain desperately needs to believe that the world is a just and orderly place where good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people. Why? Because it's terrifying to live in a world of random, unprovoked suffering. It's a lot easier to believe that the victim of a crime should have known better than to accept that they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's also easier to believe that the person who got a promotion worked harder than to accept that they might have just been lucky. This belief gives you a sense of control and safety. It makes you feel like if you're a good person and you follow the rules, you will be safe from harm. It's a comforting lie, but it also leads to victim blaming and a profound lack of empathy. Your brain is a moralizing judge, happily passing judgment on a chaotic and random world just so you can sleep better at night. Number 1, the confirmation bias. This is it, the big one, the master of all cognitive lies. The confirmation bias is the undisputed king of psychological deceptions, and it's the reason we're all living in our own unique self-reinforcing echo chambers. It's the lie that tells your brain to seek out, interpret, and favor information that confirms what you already believe. It doesn't matter if it's about politics, relationships, or what brand of peanut butter is the best. Your brain is a tireless and selective detective, only looking for evidence that supports its initial hypothesis. You will read the article that agrees with your political stance and ignore the one that doesn't. You will remember the compliments your partner gives you, but forget the criticisms. Your brain is a professional filter, and its job is to keep you comfortable and happy in the delusion that you are always right. It's the reason you and your uncle can see the exact same news story and come away with two completely different and equally valid seeming conclusions. Your brain doesn't want the truth, it wants to be right. It will ignore data, twist facts, and happily accept lies, all in the service of preserving its own ego. It's the ultimate brain hack, the final boss of all mental shortcuts, and it's working on you, all day, every day. It's not about being smart or dumb, it's about being human. and being human means being a master of self-deception. That's all for today. Stay tuned for similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.